Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and everybody's excited about the new mystery booster that we found out about quite a while ago, and it's going to be releasing on March 13th, so next week. And a lot of people are thinking about picking this up because they've heard that it's a pretty hot deal, but, well, I'm here to prove it because we knew about the different slots, what was in them. I guess you could calculate the EV, but I mean, I think there's like 1,800 different cards you could pull, so to say there might be some variance what you pull would be an understatement. However, if there were, 100 cards in the slot and they're all worth $2.99, it doesn't really matter what you pulled $2.99, you know what I mean? So the one slot we didn't know about was the automatic foil slot, where, just as it sounds, it's 100% going to be one of these cards and 100% of them are going to be foil. Just looking over the numbers, which I will get to at the end of this video, so stick around for that. The $10 to $5 range is huge. I mean, it is absolutely huge. In fact, there are actually very few cards under $2. And right now, these boxes, which by the way only contain 24 boosters, keep that in mind, they're going for about $100 to $110 on eBay right now pre-order. So that's roughly $4.50 a booster. So not like a whole lot higher than a standard booster box, which by the way contains more than 24 packs. But that $4.50 is obviously adjusted per pack, so that's a good metric to compare apples to apples. So I mean, there have been products that go from bomb to okay to above average to like BFZ holy crap 180 a box to like stab each other in the parking lot to steal it, which would be like Ultimate Masters. Just looking at the numbers on the spreadsheet that I'm going to show off at the end of this video, I might have to make up a new tier. Let's put it that way. So a lot of people are doing these crazy high number EV calculations based on the last known foil price for, whatever, Helix Pinnacle or whatever. Some card that they know is in here, but they're going off of like the foil of it from like the only time it was ever printed. Not a very good way to look at it. So for this entire video, I'm looking at the numbers where you could buy it right now, pre-order from Card Kingdom. So this is not theory. This is you could buy it right now this second for this price. That is a very real price. Using like TCG Player, no point. I mean, there's no point. That's not the real price. It's not even the same card. I mean, it's the same card. It's just that one was printed 15 years ago, and there's not very many of it. They're about to print a buttload more of it. So these prices are what I would consider the most real right now, March 7th, 2020. So with all that set up and context out of the way, what are the top 10 most expensive? Oh, get ready for this one. First, we've got Amulet of Vigor at $27.99. Oh boy, I mean, if you pay $4.50 for a pack and pull a $28 card out of just one of the slots, wow, that's gonna be some money. Why this broken exploit of a card is still legal in anything is beyond me, but yeah, that explains the $28 price tag. Next up, we've got Teferi's Puzzle Box. I hate Teferi, you hate Teferi, I hate everything he owns, I hate everything he does, I hate everything he uses. So naturally, a stupid piece of crap puzzle box is $30. It's $29.99, but I think we all know I'm going to start rounding these because I'm falling for that manipulative crap. All those 1 cent round down mind games, okay, I'm not going to be a part of your system. You better get that reference. So yeah, this is just annoying, broken, exploitive bullshit. Duh. It's $30. That's all I gotta say about it, really. Really good card analysis in this one. By the way, this is like a 5-way tie for like 5th place. So also for $30, we've got Shizo Death's Storehouse. This is like a non-swamp swamp, and that's important for some things. Also, that ability is pretty good. So yeah, I could see $30 in this. Next up, Maronar, a card that was just in Secret Lair Rats, and yet still $30. I mean, yeah, all rats have fear. That's pretty damn good. And then, the other ability's not bad either. Then next up, we got my bro, Helix Pinnacle. I just find this card absolutely ridiculous, honestly. And it's finally seen some love at $30. I mean, remember, these are all foil. You can get a cheaper version that's not foil. But yeah, just put 100 counters on it, eventually, cumulatively, and you win. And it has Shroud, which is basically hexproof. It is almost impossible to remove this from play. It's just an absolute troll card. So the last of the 5-way tie for 5th place, we've got Braid of Fire, also at $30. Okay, they changed how mana burn works, and when they did, this card should have been banned from every single format. Clearly. I mean, why? Why is this still legal? So it's cumulative upkeep, add 1 red mana to your mana pool. So then you add 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. And the whole point is, at a certain point you won't be able to spend it and you'll get mana burned. Well, not now. So now it's just, here, have a completely broken amount of mana with a non-legendary enchantment that costs 2 in a non-mana ramp color. Does that ring any bells for anybody for being potentially broken? So yeah, $30 card, shocker, still waiting for them to ban it. So getting away from the $30 cards, we have a $40 card at Scourge of the Throne, which is a 6-cost dragon. Shout out to all the degenerates who pronounce it dragon. And actually, Das, it's Leviathan. Hopefully you can get some therapy for your speech impediment. So, I mean, this gives an additional combat phase, and it has Dethrone, both of which are specialized in targeting the person with the most life, which is a pretty good strategy in multiplayer. It's a pretty fair strategy, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, good card. I do not see $40 here, but it's a pretty good card. I mean, even a commander is maybe a $10 card, but hey, foil. I mean, swinging twice is cool, but it costs 6. I mean, 6 ain't that much in commander, but this just... I could name 20 better cards than this, but whatever. Spend your money however you want. Then we got third place, which actually Scourge was also tied for third place because this is also $40. Minamo School at the Water's Edge, which is a basically island that's not an island. That's important for, I don't know, Merfolk decks or something. And yeah, the pay 1 tap untap ability, that is no joke. So a pretty cool card, and coming in second place, whoops, I just realized that all 3 of these cards are actually tied for second place, and I misread that. So also $40, we've got Intruder Alarm. This is a 3-cost enchantment. It says creatures do not untap during their controller's untap phases. Ouch. And whenever any creature comes into play, untap all creatures. Oh, you're playing a dangerous game there, but yeah, that's pretty powerful. So I'm sure this goes in some dumb deck. So the number 1 most expensive card, a lot of you have already heard this by now, it is Send Triplets. Legendary artifact creature, 3-cost, commander, duh. And at the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. This turn, that player can't play spells or activated abilities and plays with his or her hand revealed. You can play cards from that player's hand this turn. I feel like that's a little much. I mean, it says play, not cast. You can just basically just take their land and now it's mine and now you're out of land. So yeah, this card's sitting at a truly ridiculous $70, but for that power level, that seems pretty appropriate. So this was only printed once as a Mythic in Alara Reborn. So there's not a lot of these floating around. I feel like that almost can't stay at 70 after this set comes out. But then again, I mean, there's a lot of cards in this slot alone. So this is a 121 card slot of foils. So you'd have to open 121 mystery boosters to get 1 Send Triplets on average. That's a lot. So those are the top 10. I mean, you pull those, you got money. You just paid for a good portion of the box. And, 10 out of 21. Pretty okay odds. And I mean, honestly, there's 26 that are above $10. So speaking of numbers and such, let's move over to the spreadsheet where I'm going to reveal the expected value of just this slot in the booster. Not even the whole box, just this slot. So this is the spreadsheet that I absolutely painstakingly took like almost an hour to make. I had to copy and paste and look up these one at a time. It was a gigantic pain in the ass. But you can see what these look like here. I mean, we're going down here just, in case you see your favorites here. Just going to scroll real slow. Anything above, I'd say $450, you've paid for the pack with just this card alone. So I'm looking at all these options. In fact, here I'm going to include the line numbers so that you can get a good count here. So yeah, I mean, we're going. Where does it finally hit 450? Right about here. So there are 67 cards out of 121 in just the foil slot that will pay for your entire booster. Now, if you tried to sell this on eBay, you're going to spend $4 shipping it. Unless you send it with no tracking and then you lose top seller status and whatever. That's how you do it on TCG Player usually. It's a whole thing. But if you were to send it in on buy list, which is what most people do because they don't have seller accounts anywhere, I don't think you're going to get $4.99. So to really say realistically, practically, this would pay for the booster, no. Now, if you're sending in, something like this, Maelstrom Nexus Foil, probably get $11-12 for it maybe. So like a good portion of it. But yeah, you might as well just put 60% on like all these. So this is solid. I mean, there's still rares and stuff in the booster. You might just pick a $3 card and then get a $4 card. And it's like, oh, $7 booster. There you go. 2 to 1 almost. Well, $9 would be 2 to 1. So yeah, and then this is the bottom. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, honestly, $2 foil like isn't that bad. So it's like, here's your loss right here. I mean, it's like not even 20 cards. So I mean, it's a pretty damn good spread. So if we go all the way back up to the top, what is the average of just this slot? Okay, this is where it gets wild. You guys won't even believe this. $8.69. So the average booster will have $8.69 in it just from this slot. Just this slot, not any of the other cards. Like, holy crap. So if you multiply that by, I'm hearing there's 24 in there. I can't get any product details because my distributor doesn't have it because it's retail only. And I guess it's like allocation only. I don't know. It's not my scene. Let's just put it that way. $208.67 contributed to the value of the box just from these foils. None of the other cards, just from the foils. Now, if I remember correctly, one of the others I looked at, I think it was like one of the rare slots. I don't remember what's in these damn boosters, to be honest. I think it was like $2, $3, or $4 already. So, I mean, the numbers don't lie. I double checked the math. Unless these are printed unevenly, which they made it sound like, no, they're one sheet, which means cut them. Print 121, cut them, put them in a thing. Not, oh, these ones are printed at half prevalence. No, they didn't say nothing about that. So I assume they're not doing that. So taking that into consideration, I think this is going to be like a $400 or $500 box. I mean, you're going to get so much variance, and it's going to be virtually impossible to open enough to get a set of 4 of anything consistently. But that said, even on a buy list, you take 60% of this, you've already paid for the damn box while making a profit. So, to say this might be a hot product would be an understatement. I think people could almost just across the board be guaranteed to buy a box, open it, and make money. Like even at a sample size of 1. I mean, variance is a thing, anything could happen. But with these numbers and 24 packs, boy, you'd have to be unlucky to lose money on this or even break even. And I mean, even from like, not even just pure value, like card value, but like practical, like I'm going to sell the cards on a realistic marketplace or buy list standpoint. From there, you're probably still going to make money. I don't think I've said that about anything other than BFZ. Oh boy, maybe the third Masters set and Ultimate Masters. Those are the only 3 I can think of where it's like, you as a person, individual, could buy 1 box, open it, and be expected to make a profit by selling the majority of the cards. So, wow, this is crazy. Unfortunately, they managed to dodge almost any reprint that anybody actually needed for Modern. So this is basically Eternal Masters at this point. I mean, we're about to see, I think maybe, at the end of 2020 or early 2021, we might see the first time they could actually print like a real Masters set that has like fetch lands and shit that we actually need in it. But for now, this is a pretty damn good product. I mean, that's for sure. And the other thing is, if you're saying, oh, but we all needed Maelstrom Nexus to be reprinted. Well, let me pick a real one. Probably these 2, and then where's that weird, the 2 Kamigawa lands or whatever. Those ones we really did need reprints of. Probably not foil. Remember, these are only being printed in foil. That in itself is a problem. But you could say, oh, well, we're waiting on those. Well, cool, there's like 1,800 cards in here. So if they're like, oh, we're doing a reprint of this, well, it's a little low volume if you've got to split it 1,800 different ways, Like if they're going to make 100,000 boxes of this, and instead of 250 cards, there's like 1,800 or 2,000, whatever we're at with the foils, each card is being printed a hell of a lot less than if it was being printed 250 times. Now, are they going to compensate for it and print double the number of boxes as if, compared to if this was Modern Masters? My guess would be probably, actually, but the distribution on this product is so weird. It's like only going to WPN locations. So, yeah, it's going to be hot, but also they wanted to draft it. And then, like, nobody can really, as far as I know, just go on eBay and buy 100 of them or 1,000 of them, like a truly ridiculous volume. And if they are, how did they get them? Like, the whole point of this distribution method is to get it to real stores in real volumes for real customers and real drafts, not just, single sellers opening 10,000 boxes, And yet, I feel like probably because they're so dumb and irresponsible with their distribution, they probably are going to just send it to the wrong people in very much the wrong volumes, and it'll end up online and ruin everything. But even if it does, you almost can't print enough of these to make the value go down. I mean, that's just, these are already adjusted. Some of these, like some of these mid-range ones, these were $40 cards. But now that they're being reprinted, that's what they're pre-ordering at, because they know that it's going to be a fairly good volume. So where Card Kingdom is getting these, I don't know. I mean, they're all buddy-buddy with Wizards. Maybe they made a special deal to get, 10,000 or 100,000 boxes or whatever they feel comfortable opening. But, they're a lot less shady than, certain sellers on eBay, which I heard got kicked off of eBay or something like that. So hooray for us. But if you're like me and your main LGS that you go to and are the friendliest with, if they are not a WPN location, they are getting 0 of this. Now, this is basically WPN only for a product. It's probably maybe allocation. It might be based on how much you want. Who knows? I have no idea, But that's what they said about certain anthology products until like 2 days later when they called me up offering it to me. My distributor did. Like, literally, they're only supposed to sell it to WPN locations, but like 1 second after midnight, free for all. After the launch date, they can sell it to whoever the hell they want. Or at least they felt like they could. Let me put it that way. I'm not sure what Wizards' opinion was on that, but they called me and were like, hey, you want some of this? I'm like, no, I'll take 0. This is a toxic product. Go sell them to Rudy. And Rudy bought a lot of them, and he lost his ass, which is hilarious. Because if he didn't know that wasn't a popular format, I mean, how disconnected from actual gameplay and the actual fans can you get? My gosh. Like, at a certain point, you need to be plugged in a little bit to know what to buy and what not to buy, what's a good investment and what's not, and what's a hot product and what's not, and what people are saying about stuff and what they're not. So yeah, if distributors are like, well, every store ordered like 10 because that's all they need for drafting, they didn't realize that this was hot, and then some reordered 20 because they're going to sell it locally, and it's walk-in customers, it's like 1 each or whatever. That ain't going to eat up 800,000 boxes or whatever they're going to plan on printing. So if the distributors are like, holy crap, we only cleared 50% of this, they're going to call everybody and their grandma and start sending it to them. They don't care if they order 1,000 boxes and want to back the truck up and get the forklift, okay? They will send 1,000 boxes to 1,000 square foot building. Like, at that point, they don't care. The suspicion meter is turned down to 0, okay? They just want them gone. So that might happen because of the weird way that they're doing this. Then again, I mean, I feel like they wouldn't do that because Wizards clearly does not want them to sell it that way, and they have the exact numbers on how many WPN locations exist. And, like, they have attendance numbers, so they should be able to dial it in really close. But then again, the sets were so much money, they might just overprint it to death, but then will the stores really buy it? So that's why this is so up in the air as far as what's going to happen, who's going to have it, who's going to run out, who's going to be left holding the most amount. Like, which sellers are going to have it, which ones are going to go without, is it going to show up on eBay and Amazon, is it not? Nobody really knows. So this is going to get really wild for like 2 weeks after this comes out to see what happens. And I mean, I've done it before, I'll do it again. I will walk in with several $1,000s in cash and armed bodyguards, body armor, and a lot of weapons, and, pick it up about as much as I can carry and load it up into my car and sell it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes my friend's store can get stuff that my store couldn't, and so I'd order through them without them really knowing that we're ordering through them because they're not supposed to do that. Although if it's non-WPN allocation, it's kind of gray area. They don't really care. So if they start offering this like the next day for just open orders, I'm going to be like, hey, get me 10 grand worth. Which, the one thing that doesn't add up to me right now is, why is this $110 pre-order on eBay when we've got $208 per box worth of foils? That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, that really doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I mean, BFZ, I guess people didn't really know how hot it would be, but they kind of knew what expeditions were worth. So like a couple days ahead of time, people should have known to ask for about 130 to 150 per box on eBay. I don't know if it ever hit that. I think it hit 130, but yeah, I think some people even up to the day of were like clueless and selling it for like $95. So I hope it's a situation like that, and that it's not just, oh, these are very optimistic prices, and like 3 days later it's going to crash. This foil slot's going to be $50 and you'll break even on the boxes. So take everything I said and all the math in this and all the estimations with a grain of salt. This is going to be the craziest product, most unpredictable product to ever come out. And if you're thinking about investing in these, like buying 6 of them and opening them and trying to sell the cards and make money, Unpredictable is not the word you want to hear. So just a little warning at the end here for anybody who's going to try to do that based on everything they heard in this video and everything they're hearing online, which is a little bit more pie in the sky than even this video. Yeah, you do still risk losing money. Anytime you buy something, you risk losing money. Okay, this is Wizards, this is Magic, anything could happen. I mean, I would have put money on the EV of a box of Theros Beyond Death being above $100 for a month. And it hit like $60 after like 2 weeks. So, whoopsies. I mean, you never know. You never know what is going to happen. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I will be covering the story very closely about what happens. Did stuff go up? Did it go down? That kind of stuff. You know, what's happening to the prices? Where can you get a sealed box? Who's sealed? You know, sold out? All that. So if you want to be the first to know about that, hit subscribe on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.